And just like that, we are live. We are back at it again by popular demand. So be careful not to quote Slim Shady anymore because we are on a live stream. So hello everyone. Welcome back to Live Dungeons and Dragons with the wonderful cast and crew that we have assembled today. My name is Bradley. I run the BorksMemes stuff. To my right on screen, we have Johns, played by Casey. Care to introduce yourself?
I'm playing Johns. My name's Casey.
How
Apropos.
succinct. Yeah, he honestly, I was expecting a little less pizzazz, but he nailed it. To our right again, we've got Tregillius, or Rook, played by David. David, we need to know a fun fact about you.
A fun fact about me or a fun fact about Rook?
Fun fact about either one.
A fun fact about Rook is that he has traveled so much that he is a dark metallic blue, which is the color of a tan drow. Didn't know they could tan, but apparently that's the color.
That is good to know.
Fun fact about me is there are no fun facts about me. Move on.
We'll circle back. Down and to the left, we've got Amos, played by Werfel. Werfel, could you please...
Right.
Could you please share, I don't know, how would you pick a lock, real life rogue?
Yes, I've been a locksmith for about 4 years full-time, probably close to 10 years part-time.
He's the only rogue I know that can actually pick a lock. It's true. He can do it. I've seen him do it. It's very concerning. But he can.
I'm trustworthy, I swear.
You can't say no to that. Like, no lock will stop him. And then after that concerning bit, we've got Nephi, played by Christina. Christina, care to introduce yourself? We got no sound on Christina.
My name's Christina.
There she is. Christina, we got to know like a fun fact about you. Like, what do you think would be Casey's favorite snack? I think it would be black licorice.
I think she's having audio issues. But I'm going to go ahead and say his favorite snack is probably the Rolo candy.
Ooh. You know, I feel like Casey's more of a good and plenty kind of guy. Or maybe like a hot tamale.
Maybe a Heath bar.
Maybe a Heath bar. Werfel, you care to weigh in? What do you think Casey's favorite candy would be?
I, for one, think it is an orange Skittle.
Only the orange ones.
Did you know that orange Tic Tacs quench your thirst?
Yes.
My twin sister thought that was true because my mom told her that on a car ride when we were like 8. It was about 29 years old when she realized that it wasn't true.
It's not?
It's okay. It's okay. We all know that Amos's favorite candy is Werther's.
Hey man, you back off Werther's. They're good. They're good for you. They're good for your
They
soul.
are wonderful.
Without further ado, we're going to get to some Dungeons and Dragons. Christina, we've got some audio issues on you. We're going to continue. Please let us know when you pop in successfully, and we will ask you a detail about Nephi.
No.
Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Or is she?
Hey, Christina.
She's muted on my screen.
Alrighty. Well, we will get to her in a few moments. In the meantime, today's game will start in the middle of a town referred to as Aroni. Y'all have been there for a couple of days now. Everybody's really had the chance to, sit back, relax, figure out what they want to do. But it's a good time. Everybody's gotten to know a couple of NPCs locally. There have been a couple of interactions with a large dragon-born gentleman who insists on identification and seems to resemble some sort of intense person with a really hulking presence. The name escapes me. We've also met another NPC by the name of Ruggy, who is a very small halfling. He is very wise and all-knowing, and should always be trusted. He is definitely capable hands to leave anything with. We've also met a wonderful cleric who heals via slaps. We've also met some people that whistle in the woods. They seem super nice. And a half-orc by the name of Bork, who also gives out treats. All in all, I think we've yet to meet anybody evil yet. So I think we're just going to continue with that today. Everyone will meet in the tavern towards the center of town, where a off-blue half-elf is slinging drinks. He has a sign posted up by the door saying "No Ruggy Dug Duggy Allowed," with a crudely drawn halfling face with a frown and a cigar. Oh, well, hello. I see the vagrants are here. Are you off to wander in a general cardinal direction, or do you have a plan today?
Who's the new guy?
Who's the new guy? Oh, there's Johns. You don't know Johns? Oh, he was a real pain in my rear end on Tuesday. He showed up here, barked out some orders, got a hold of a servant that seems to wipe a certain area of him that we will remain nameless. He seems a little overdone and a little underthought, but oh well. Oh well.
I'm done just well.
Oh, done just well. Oh, wonderful. Yes, done just well.
And if any of you would like, I can have my stylist fix you up very nicely.
I'll have you know I don't need a stylist. I've been seen quite well by a couple of stylists in town. I'll have you know the seamstress Marvell has actually taken quite good care of my wonderful accoutrements in here, and I do not need your help.
I'm sure you have a lot of inner beauty.
Oh, goodness, and I'm sure you'd make a fine cook. Oh, goodness, this person here.
Do you think they could make me look beautiful again?
We could find someone to love you, I'm sure.
Trick question. I'm still beautiful.
Well, with that lie out and done, who wants a drink? He'll procure a large bottle of clear liquid, pour you a drink, and slide it over. You'll note that the bottle is marked XXX. There is a couple of moments of waiting while it slides over to you. You smell it stiffly, and it is, we'll call it pungent. It has a strong odor or aroma giving off from it. To say it dwarfs the smell that you would expect from vodka doesn't necessarily even do it justice. Oh, and another drink? Anyone else?
My doctor says I can't drink anymore. You got tea?
Oh, yes. Do you want spiked tea or just a regular?
Cinnamon, if you have it.
Ah, well, of course. Yes. I of course have the cinnamon just lying around. It's a wonderfully valuable spice. I have it in droves. He's gonna request cinnamon.
I personally like to watch what I put in my body. I think that's too many X's for me.
Well, if you split it with me, it'll only be half the amount.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Let's do it.
You'll see him shaving off some cinnamon now. He is shaving into a hot cup of tea. He's put in a little bit of sugar birch, as well as a ground up. You think it might be a beet of some sort. It seems to all be very sweet alternatives to sugar that he's mixing in with natural herbs and spices. Sliding over to you, Amos. Another drink is procured, a fancier whiskey and amaretto, getting slid over to John's. And I'm sure you'd want a godfather that would be right up your alley.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm sorry.
Any of that?
We can't hear you, Christina.
It's like every time Neffy speaks, her voice gets muted for some reason. It's magic, I swear. What is it with this town and weird magic?
You'll note the half-elf Lucky is looking around. He looks over the bar stool and sees a small character. You'll see Neffy is trying to reach up to be heard and struggling just a little bit. What you'll notice specifically, Johns, is that Lucky seems to be a bit standoffish with you in particular. You think this might be because you're kind of a bit similar to him in attitude and ability. It just seems to be rubbing him the wrong way. And he seems to be taking that out on just your general taste and not necessarily giving you options around here. There are a lot more passing comments under his breath as he's preparing more drinks. You're not sure if this comes from an area of insecurity or an area of just annoyance, but it is something that's continued throughout. Well, and I'm sure everybody is ready for today's adventure or whatever it is you folks do. What are you, the podders, the people that come from the pods, the glass tubes, the thingies?
Yeah, we worked for that wizard guy, Edith something. Anyway, is he around? Because he's the one who told us where to go last time. Or do you have
Where
anything?
can I make money?
That.
What
the old man said.
Well, you do well making money. Probably. Well, I don't know. Really, anywhere. I've heard just about every direction has gold. There have been rumors of a town nearby by the name of Broken Claw, I believe it was called. We sent a party to go over and reason with them, or at least attempt to. They came back with an arrow in their foot. I think it was the thigh. No, it might have been the knee. I'm not sure the exactness. But they came back, said that they were the Arony people were mistreated by the Broken Claw people, and let's just say that the town rivalry has commenced ever since. We don't play games with them. We don't deal with them. We don't have any traveling or trading. Yeah, that's really it. If there's a spot for coin to be made, you can also do it in town. There are chores to be done. I heard there's a missing cat for a lady named Granny. There's also a rather large beast loose in the southern area. There's Forest of Screams, which extends toward the north, west, and south. Seems to be rather active lately. We're not sure exactly why. We're, of course, just, always working on it.
There's a forest of streams?
No, it's a Forest of Screams. It's a place where people go in and scream.
Yes, we had a lot of fun playing with those face stealers last time. I'd love to go back and murder a few dozen more.
Are they good screams or bad screams?
Vague screams.
Depends on whether or not you're into that kind of thing.
He's not wrong. He's not technically wrong. Yeah.
Do these people need help or what? I don't understand.
Oh, there's no help.
Well, I think I am gonna get up, go for a walk, and talk to that man who stabbed me in the woods last time. I think his name was Bork.
Sorry, did you say Bork?
I think so. I only met him once. He melted into a puddle when I was done with him. That was weird.
No, the gentleman Bork, he's not one for stabbing. He doesn't like any sort of weapons. I'd recommend avoiding him. He's very much a pain in the keister. He'll try and set you up with a mission and then just pay you in rocks. There's nothing to be had with him. He's very boring. Drab fellow. Not a fan.
Do you believe I had a retirement fund?
Actually, I wouldn't.
Yeah, and now I'm dead broke in a weird town in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
Is it that you're dead broke? Or is it that your retirement fund is in another dimension?
Bit of both.
Well, you could do well with, I don't know, maybe a little, maybe a little, work?
Yes, work, travel, all of it. I'm into it. Let's go. What do you have for us, Lucky?
I don't have
Because
Jack. I work in a bar. This is my thing. You could. There's a job board like probably 30 feet outside by the Rogues Guild. That's the place where everybody stabs things. I don't.
Amos gets up immediately and starts slowly walking out the door.
Rook
John's,
follows Amos.
Johns will catch up to Amos, and I whisper to you. So, do you like men or women?
I'll let you know as soon as my pecker starts working again.
Both. Okay.
For Christina, do we have sound on you yet? I'm gonna go with a maybe. We are just continuing.
Looks like she still has herself muted.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, I'm getting broken up sound on Rook now as well.
And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. For Amos, you are exiting, making your way over towards the Rogues Guild. You see a slender man, looks quite a lot like a younger version of yourself. He's got a shrunken head on his hip, as well as a cloak. It seems to be shimmering a little bit and has a couple of tentacles dangling from it. He's sitting by a old bar. You'll note that inside is a cherry red, despite the outer wood not looking anything like that. He looks to you and nods for just a bit. Hey, you looking for the job board over here?
Who can I stab and get paid for?
Anybody, if you're fast enough. We got a whole list of them. Right over there. He points over to a job board where there's a list of jobs available. You'll see a large list of what they refer to as hooks for some reason. They have a rather interesting way of outlining different threats. They're in some sort of leveling system. They recommend certain threats for level 1 rogues or certain threats for level 2 rogues. You're not sure exactly the intricacies they're in, but you can kind of guess that you'd fit between like the 1 or 2 level range. Almost as though these encounters are specifically designed for players as they level up. But yeah, it's just a really cool way of outlining work for hire. You'll see a couple of names are on there recurring. There's a seamstress by the name of Marvell who seems to be hiring folks, as well as a gentleman by the name of Shitteth, the wizard in town. There's also a couple of jobs from an old lady named Granny. Apparently she's to be met towards the southwestern end of the outside of Arrowknee. There's a bunch of different jobs, one of which reads, it reads, where has the orphanage gone? A nearly blind old woman has been seen watching a group of elven orphans that seem to have gone missing. You're not sure about the timing. It's an old job, seems to have been posted over in Broken Claw. But they are asking for help trying to find the children of this orphanage.
Elves are very pretty. We should probably save them.
There's also another one listing a gentleman by the name of Bork needing rocks. That's the whole job ad. It's just that he needs rocks. You'll see another one. There's a strange smoke on the horizon towards the southeast. But nobody can exactly pinpoint when the smoke started.
How much does the orphanage job pay for?
The old lady seems to be offering anything she's got. She said she's misplaced a large amount of her gold in the ad. You're not sure exactly how or why. but you think it might be worth some intrigue. Whoever might have stolen the gold may also have stolen the orphans too.
Rook
Well,
comes over to
let's go see if this old man can't get laid one more time.
For Christina, do we have sound on you yet?
She was switching over to her computer last night.
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. For Neffy, you are inside. You've received a drink. Lucky took way too long making it. He was kind of like stirring it passive aggressively, staring at you, looking at it well stirred. He looks down at the tip jar and looks back over to you. And looks at the tip jar and looks over to you. He then taps the tea glass, slides it across the bar table to you. Well, sorry, your party seems to be a little further away. I do hope you have a wonderful day. Don't let the door hit you in the rear on your way out. Goodbye. At which point, Neffy, you'll see a small halfling by the name of Ruggy Dug Duggy walking up to you. Hey, it's been a while. Ever since you came out of that pod. How you been?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I've just been kind of looking around, trying to sow some wild oats. I'm not sure what to do, but I think today's my day. I want to go for an adventure outside the dome.
Oh, have you died again lately?
Again?
Well, I think you died last time I saw you.
No, I've never died. I've always been spick and span, down the clown, ready to go.
Oh, well, okay, right. Neffy's gonna slip a few acorns into the tip jar. Drink her tea pretty quickly, and then start heading towards the rest of the group.
Oh, acorn, you're just like Bork. I hate this. You successfully make your way out. Ruggy Dug Duggy is following you, talking about he's going to make it as a break dancer. He's talking more specifically about the types of rhythms and movements that he wants to move to. It takes about 2 seconds for you to realize he has no sense of rhythm, but he's really trying his best. He's also asking you if you're involved with the Rogues Guild.
I'm actually a druid, not a rogue.
Oh, that makes a lot better sense to me. You don't really seem like the cloak and dagger type. I just kind of wonder sometimes because, I like stabbing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. She's gonna take a few steps to the side.
All right, well, I hope you have fun. Be good.
Thanks. You too. Have fun dancing.
You make your way over to a job board. You'll see a couple of jobs, one specifically talking about a strange smog to the southeast, and another one mentioning an orphanage gone in a town called Broken Claw. This is your first time hearing of this. You're catching up with the rest of the party who is looking at the job board. You'll see the old man Amos is currently arguing with a local by the name of Marcus. They seem to be talking about the going rate of halfling's ear. And now they're talking about the specifics of what it would be like to overthrow a government in a Elven town to the north. They're sharing these stories. You're not sure why exactly, almost as though they may have similar backstories from a campaign long forgotten. What would you like to do, Neffy?
I'm gonna lean over to Nick and be like, which job are they talking about?
All I'm saying is a little fire usually solves almost any problem.
Rook is gonna lean down to Neffy and go, "Oh, Amos wants to go save the orphanage. I don't particularly care, and John seems to be along for the ride."
Yeah, it seems like the makes the most sense. We're going to set Amos up here with the nice older woman, and we're going to save some attractive elven children.
That was disturbingly phrased.
Rook just looks over at John, blinks repeatedly, goes, Anyway, Neffy, would you like a ride? You seem like you might have a little keeping up with us.
Sure.
And Rook is just gonna like pick Neffy up by an arm and just put her on his shoulder.
So you successfully put a Neffy on your shoulder. The party is just kind of hanging out right now. There is a kind of a yell off in the distance. You're not sure exactly what for. There is a little bit of a hustle and bustle. You'll see a small child with an eye patch and a woman with a walking stick making their way up the street. They're walking calmly. The child with the eye patch looks over to you specifically, Rook. How wonderful day for a walk, isn't it?
Does the child look elven?
I look down at the child and go, every day's a good day for a walk. Where are you walking to?
Oh, wherever the wind takes me. For John's, the child is human in appearance. There's a slight accent to the child's speech, which is not necessarily characteristic of this area. Yes, I was just thinking about how wonderful today is.
So I guess we should be to Broken Claw to find this orphanage with the elven children.
Oh, yes, but of course.
Are you coming with us, child?
No. I wish you all the best.
What's your name?
Timmy.
All right, Timmy.
So who's the freaky kid with the accent?
Oh, my name is Timmy. I'm the kid. He looks over to a taller woman who looks a lot like him. You'd venture to guess his mother. She seems to be looking around blankly. I was just wondering if you all might want some blessings of the storm.
Sure.
Blessing to
If
you.
you're handing them out for free, I don't see why not.
And blessing to you. And blessing
Yes,
to you.
bless you too.
Like the child's like really uncomfortable to be around, but gives you a D4 blessing, so you get an extra D4 in your next roll. Very uncomfortable situation to be in, but seems to go well. Standing around the job board for just a little while longer, you guys are talking about going towards an orphanage. You'll see a gentleman by the name of Conroy that you've seen walking around for just a little bit. He walks up, takes a look at a couple of flyers there, and picks one off. Oh, this will be nice. Something about gold. All right. Hi, guys. Bye, guys. He'll snap his fingers and he'll make an illusion that appears to be the same job, but pointing the exact opposite direction. What would the party like to do?
What does a woman look like? Is she, clean, dirty, well kept?
They both seem to be of very well-kept nature. You'll note that the small child has a little piece of lightning stitched into his clothing. Seems to be on every article of his clothing. The woman is, you'd venture to say his mother, mid-30s. She looks a little tired. Her face is stone cold and panning continuously. Almost as though she's looking past you as she keeps moving her head on a swivel.
What color's her hair?
It's an off red.
Oh, well, your brilliant red hair. You must be from the Lady of Love herself. Bart, and I motioned to one of my followers, the stylist. Bart, you must do something better with this hair. Can you spritz a little bit of something in it? Give her a nice glow, please. Allow me.
Bart makes 2 steps forward. The child snaps a finger. Bart will look a little concerned for a moment. Getting out dice.
I just wanted on record, Amos is going to ask Marcus about the travel to Broken Claw.
Marcus will tell you that there are a lot of halflings over there. There's also a lot of other humanoids. There's some humans, some dragonborn, some elves that you've never heard of. They seem to have a couple of different cultures and races available that would be available for potential unlock, such as Ghostwise halflings or maybe some more elves, depending on whoever might be going over there. He's just kind of tossing this out as like a thing to be careful of because the culture is not necessarily the same. They seem to be a little bit more violent, but they do have the same restriction against evil alignments. However, they seem to be more neutral than good around that area.
And what about the orphanage? Where's that?
He shrugs. Not really his place. He heard of a halfling that tried to rob them once. Apparently she made off with a bit of gold, but he never saw her again.
Noted.
Let me see that bill, Amos. And I'm going to take the bill from Amos. And does it say it's in Broken Claw?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to look over to the guy.
My eyes aren't that bad.
I'm just going to ignore Amos for half a second and just ask
Don't ignore me. It hurts my feelings.
which way to Broken Claw.
Johns goes over and strokes Amos on the head just very gently.
Don't touch me.
It's all right. Don't worry. I'm here for you.
Marcus will mention that Broken Claw is due east. You'll also see that as he mentions this, the child and the woman have made their way away. Once they're about 50 feet out, the child will snap a finger again, and your servant, Johns, will become able to move again and looks very concerned. Like there was a hold person just cast on this person. That would suggest that this child is at some way a spellcaster of some decent level, able to cast a second level spell. You'd note this did not be anything of that a slotch would be putting forth. Marcus will recount some details of some adventures of old. Something, and this is the weirdest part, is that you know that these places only became passable only a little while ago. You think he might be talking more out his rear than anything, but he's talking about some guy named some dragonborn that got on top of a rock and desecrated it. Some other barbarian that went in and like tried to wreck the place. And like this kobold named Stan keeps popping up in stories, and he keeps talking about Stan and how Stan kept sneezing. They talk about that for way too long.
You know, you keep this up, you'll be an old man telling stories just like me.
He nods and smiles to you. Yeah, I might. The one thing that you'll notice specifically, everyone around, is that he doesn't seem to be really getting to the point. Who here speaks Thieves' Cant?
Yo!
Amos. He's telling you specifically that this place is quite a lot like Arony. There are a lot of people who have gone back and forth. They tend to go to Broken Claw and then not come back. You don't believe there's a malficious reason. You think they just might be exploring further. This is his estimate. He's not giving you exact details. You think there may be an ulterior motive as to why. He does have a place that he's been renting out space in. He's got a bar that's not quite as hoppin' and boppin' as Lucky's, but he's trying to market it better. You think he might be motivated at least to keep you overnight, telling you more information about this place. But you think that might not necessarily be worth your while.
Well, Marcus, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna start walking.
He looks a little disappointed for a second and waves you off.
The Broken Claw.
What's John's going to do?
Walk with Amos.
What is Neffy up to?
Neffy was on my shoulder a second ago, and Rook is going to hang back behind the group a little bit.
What were you going to say, Neffy?
She's just looking around at wonder of how she can see things now because she's so tall. Just like climbing a tree.
Nephew, your squirrel is hanging out. This is a great time. Your squirrel has found 3 nuts so far. There have been several flowers outside. The squirrel almost went to pick one and then was reminded that this is the kingdom's garden and that the local guard does not take kindly to picking flowers outside. You think this might be more of a Skyrim joke than anything. However, your squirrel is just kind of making its way around, engaging with a couple of people. It does find a rat that it's not necessarily a fan of, but scampers back over to you. You'll also notice that there are a couple of birds flying in the distance towards the northeastern end. They seem to be circling around something. You'd guess that they're a few miles outside of the dome.
Is that the direction we're going to be heading in?
Nope, not necessarily. Broken Claw is due east.
I'll point it out to Rook and remind him that last time we followed birds, we found Bork and got some info.
These seem to be birds of scavenging.
Last time we followed birds, Neffy, they were all like crows and stuff. You know, the kind that like steal stuff. These are like carrion feeders.
I hope Dougie's not dead again.
And we care why? I thought we were going to Broken Claw.
We are. Speaking of, aren't we a little light? What happened to the strong men we had with us last time?
You said you need light?
There were others. My memory's not what it used to be. Now then, come on. Follow the old man, who's clearly not senile, into the dangerous woods where people scream all the time.
This sounds fun.
Above the table, you'll note that the woods are not to the east. It is mentioned that there is a light road leading over to Broken Claw, but there's no woods to travel between.
Like I said, he's definitely not senile.
Rook is just gonna take Amos by like a shoulder and like slowly tug at an arm so that he does like a really, really, really wide J-turn.
Yep, just look at me, knowing where I'm going.
You'll successfully make your way over towards the eastern end of the dome. You pass a couple of places. There's a tiefling woman waving out towards you with a decadent dress. Her seamstress area is labeled Lady Marvell's wonderful shop of things. She seems to be beckoning towards you. Oh, well, in case you find yourselves in need of work, come on back at any time. Feel free to reach out. Bye-bye.
Do you know where the orphanage went?
I've heard a little bit about the orphanage. Why?
We're going to look for it.
Good luck.
No further details. Helpful. Bye!
Do you have any work that you need done over in Broken Knee? Because, like, we can take on 2 jobs at once.
I don't have anything needed over there. I tried to trade with them once. They were rather impolite. I sent some stuff over with a caravaner of theirs, and they were not super reliable. We'll just say that much.
So if we find the caravaner, kill them, and get your stuff back somehow, you'll pay us? Is that what I'm hearing?
I would love my things back.
Got it.
You look magnificent.
Thank you. You do too, honey.
Oh,
Come
thank
on.
you.
Hey, when was the last time you had someone redo your look?
Not for a while, but I don't tend to redo my look while I'm adventuring. You know, more protection is the best protection.
I don't blame you. Come back sometime with like 100 to 200 gold. We can get you some glamour weave. You'll be able to redo that on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, I've heard of this. I need more money so that, yes, most protection can also be most beauty.
I've heard that war crimes are a good way to get money. If you want to look around, I mean, if you can swing a sword pretty decent, you can probably get some good cash.
Only if it's to ugly people. You know, inside ugly and outside ugly. Or outside ugly.
That's kind of terrible, but we're just going to run with it so long as you're a paying customer. We're just going to not open that Pandora's box.
Can you make me pretty again?
Honey, I don't think there's a single wizard alive that can make you pretty again.
Trick question. I'm still pretty.
We're gonna find him love.
You're gonna find him something. I don't know. I don't know. Well, if I hope everybody has a great time. Bye, Neffy. I appreciate you checking in last night. It was wonderful. We had some great tea. I love the Earl Grey that you brought me.
Bye. My squirrel says bye too.
Thank you. Oh, and Rook.
Yes.
The traders that I sent stuff with. I met with them outside of town. There's that yellow-eyed tiefling. Just beware of him. He's a real pain in the keister. If you see him, tell him he owes me money.
Yellow Eyes. I think you might have dealt with a face stealer who was a little out of their element.
What?
Nothing. Just I'll make sure you get your stuff back if the opportunity arises. Amos here will do the stabbing. I'll just do the delivering.
All right, I just got a lot of lavender soap out there that I really need back. It's worth a lot of money.
Hear that, Neffy? Lavender.
Lavender's a wonderful flower. It has great medicinal properties.
Smells great as well.
Y'all are looking over to Lady Marvell, who takes a look at you all, walks back into her shop. You'll note that she gets back to work. She is wrapping a dress around a adjustable mannequin. She seems to be very skilled in this area and has a very careful, steady hand. The dresses inside of here, you would guess to be of masterwork. They are very valuable. Not a lot of customers. The building stays afloat, though.
All right, let's get to Broken Claw. This old man's still got a bedtime.
Alrighty. At that, you will successfully leave the dome. Travel will be just a few minutes. You are making your way outside. You're walking on a dirt road. There's no attempt yet to have paved this road. There's a couple of halflings standing by a small bridge with a creek running underneath it. One of the halflings breathes rather heavily. How's everybody doing?
I'm old and cranky.
I like
Okay.
you. What do you want?
I'm going that way.
You going that way?
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole idea.
Well, there's a tax for that.
I'm broke.
How many
Yellow
tax?
card. You get a yellow card. This is definitely not just me holding up a little stamp so that I can edit this out for Facebook. You get disadvantage on your next roll. This is the yellow card. Look at it for more than 10 seconds so that when I scrub through, it's fast. Yeah, I gotta pay the tax.
How many tax?
I have some acorns. They're really good. You can grind them up and make flour.
You ever try to make acorn milk, lady? Tastes like, tastes
How
like
do you-
garbage.
How do you milk the acorns?
You don't. You pulp it all up, mix it with some water, and mix it and jam it. And he's actually getting really into the description of this. Amos, can I have you make a stealth check? I'm just assuming that you're going to be slipping off. Am I right there?
You are correct, sir.
Sir, are you from the forest too?
No, I'm not from the forest, but I actually do get into cooking. Last week I bought this cookbook from a really nice guy by the name of Fidith. It was like how to cook like 7 different kinds of different things that you put food inside of. You get your carrots and your beets and then some fingers from some things and then mix them all up. Say a couple of incantations and whiz bang boom, you got yourself a meal that nobody can resist.
Wow.
Yeah, there was this really cool one about a truth serum.
I've never made a truth serum.
Oh, it's basically just like the Zone of Truth spell, but in a serum form. It's really crazy. I've only seen paladins do it. Never knew you could put it in a bottle.
Yeah, I think you're a bit more advanced than I am.
I haven't tried it out yet. It said that, in order to use the Truth Serum, you need a lot of nightshade. So I just kind of avoided it for a little bit, but, I figure it's worth trying at some point.
Well, be careful with that nightshade. If you use it wrong, it doesn't go well.
Well, they said they would never be able to lie again, so I just assume that it'll be okay.
Well, I meant for you, but okay.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm just trying my best out here, trying to become a good cook.
Absolutely. Do you want some acorns? I have some. Squirrel collects them. He's the best collector. I mean, who doesn't know more about acorns than squirrels?
He looks a little nervous.
Experts.
The other halfling next to him hasn't been talking.
Amos got a 16 plus 9, by the by.
Amos, you have slipped away easily. You are making your way over towards this other area referred to as Broken Claw. Johns, would you be doing the same, or Rook?
I probably don't see him, but I'm looking around now for Amos.
I don't know that Rook can, because I'm still sitting on Rook's shoulder.
Yeah, as Amos is slipping away and Neppy is having that conversation, Rook is kind of walking over to just like one side of the bridge and is just going to look over at the halfling who's not speaking and go, do you guys get will-o-wisps here often?
There's a shake of the head no. You hear in the back of your head, we don't talk about the will-o-wisps. There are none. What we do have are glowing eyes. This is a deep voice for a halfling in the back of your head. Above the table, what this will be is a feature from the Ghostwise Halflings as seen in the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide. This may become an unlocked race depending on how today's game goes.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Back on the table. Well, then, what is that? And Rook is going to, with one hand, cast dancing lights, down in the riverbank in a humanoid shape. It's basically a glowing humanoid.
Are you attempting to make up a monster for them to be afraid of?
No, I'm just using the spell itself. It says I can combine the 4 lights into one glow, vaguely humanoid form of medium size.
Okay. So are you trying to replicate something that you've seen in the past, or are you trying to just ask them or distract them?
Distract them mostly.
They will look over towards this strange dancing light and panic for just a couple of moments. They begin bowing and throwing gold at it. They ask for the avatar of the duck to please leave. They've heard stories of its reign of terror and its general quackiness. They do not want anything to do with it.
And as they're doing that, me and Neppy are just going to walk past them towards Broken Claw.
John, you're just kind of still hanging out there. These halflings are freaking out, looking over towards a ominous humanoid glowing in the distance. They're saying something about a duck god.
What color is it?
It's just light. Just a little glow.
I'm going to go over and look with them.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! Cling, cling, cling.
I'm just watching.
And it has a, let's see. It is shedding light in a 10-foot radius, so the river's just kind of glowy. And I'm going to have it start to walk away as we're getting just out of their range to chase us down.
Okay. As you make your way over towards...
How deep that river was?
It is a small stream. You'd guess it doesn't get deeper than 5 feet at any point.
Maybe on the way back, we should go through the riverbed and collect all that gold.
I like your thinking, Neffy. I really do. And as I'm exiting the range of the spell, it's just gonna wink out of existence.
I'm going to start running off towards where I think my companions went to.
You start running off towards your thinker, or where you think their companions are off to. You hear a, dang, I thought we'd shake them down. Yeah, no more pretending to be guards for us. You think they might not have even really had the authority to like actually stop you guys at this point.
Do I think?
That's a great question. We'll get to that soon. For Rook and Amos, as well as Neffy, you'll see that there is a red tiefling figure leaning against this dome. He's just kind of hanging out. His eyes flicker yellow for just a moment. Hi there, how is everybody?
Hello there, young man. Just fine.
I'm really tall like a tree.
It's been a while since I had anybody come to visit.
We're looking to do some work. You know of this flyer, sir? Something about an orphanage.
I don't know anything about the flyers inside of town. I have a little predicament that makes it so I can't get in. You'll see that he bong, bong, knocks against the dome itself. Let's just say my kind isn't welcome there.
Well, you're sure as hell helpful. Amos is going to walk into the dome.
You successfully walk into the dome. The tiefling with the yellow eyes looks over to you, Rook. Hey there, you looking for work?
I've already got work, but maybe on the way back.
Maybe on the way back. Hey,
Don't talk to strangers, Rook.
And I'm gonna go into the dome and like walk over to Amos and kind of whisper in his ear, "We should kill that guy."
I think we should avoid him.
Neffy,
John's-
what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think, Neffy?
He looked a little odd. I don't know. His eyes were creepy. Like a snake.
Well, yes, but your friends, the stylist, the seamstress, wanted us to deal with him at some point.
That's true.
I say we finish playing with the toy we got out first before we pick out another one.
That's fair. enough.
Yes, Grandpa.
Grandpa, you're related?
Could be. I have many grandchildren that I don't keep track of.
Do I notice a family resemblance between Neffy and Amos?
Give me an investigation check.
That is a whopping 8.
Not really.
For all you know, you could be my grandson.
Remind me, sir, how old are you?
How many times I gotta say you really shouldn't ask a lady that?
Well,
He did.
that's fair. It's just I'm older than the average human lifespan, so
Yeah, me too.
Rook is just gonna shrug and try to find the nearest actual town guard and be like, "Hey, we're here to help with an orphan problem."
You make your way up to a town guard who is wearing black studded leather, some tall boots, and some rather ornate helmet with a mohawk coming out of it. It appears to be of bright color. The guard looks to you. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
Oh there.
Uh,
How are you?
And then I just kind of hold up the flyer. We kind of came here to make money. You know anything about this?
Yeah, there's
We
an
came here to the children, and then maybe make some money too.
It's an orphanage a little ways out there. There's an old lady there. She's doesn't got too good eyesight. You know, rumor has it there's been some shaking down over there. We heard that there's not very much to be had in terms of actual orphans inside of there. She said she's got orphans. She says she's taking care of them, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think everything's on the up and up inside of there. I don't know if it's the lady or the orphans she's taken in, but everything seems a little off.
Has John's cut up to the group yet?
Yes. You'll note that this gentleman is wearing thick leather. In terms of aesthetic, the guard's clothing looks a little bit more similar to a goth or metalhead in terms of the too many zippers and too many clasps and buckles. But you'll note that there are some pieces of plate as well as a couple of labelings around. For Rook, this looks a little bit more like a paid mercenary. For Amos, this guy's a rogue for hire. You're not sure about who enforces the laws in this town, but they do not have the same general overseeing the place.
Well, thank you for the info, young one.
Thank you. Hey, just a side bit. If you're looking for work, we do have a place in town you might want to visit. It's called Mary's. Good lady, she'll treat you right.
You got a business card?
Yeah, I got a couple of business cards. Who's asking?
Amos, I'll take one.
You got it. You'll see a reach inside of a breast pocket, at which point you'll see a small little piece of paper, and as you read it, there's a very small fine print. Your eyes are a little old. You're not necessarily ready for this, but you can just barely make out where it says "fuck off." That's the only thing on the business card. You want an extra one for the road?
I'll be back later.
To Neffy, you'll see that this man looks over to you just a little confused as to why you're riding a humanoid, but thinks that you may be some sort of royalty from the Aroni. He's not sure. He bows to you for just a second, confused. You'll hear a jangling from his various adornments. At which point you can successfully make your way over towards this orphanage. You'll pass a couple of buildings on your way out. You'll see
I will address him and say, "You may continue your work, sir."
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, if you get a second, that tiefling outside the dome, I think he could use about 5 of your business cards.
Trust me, that Crossroads demon ain't nothing I'm looking to mess with.
Oh. And Rook's just gonna turn like military 45-degree, 90-degree angle, whatever turn on his boot heel and just walk away. Rook may not be the most intelligent creature on the planet, but he's wise enough to know not to fuck with a demon.
Hey! Hey, I'm holding this up for several more seconds so it's easier to scrub through. Hey. We can't say those words. We totally can. I just have to crop them out. At which point you will successfully make your way just a bit further into town. You'll see there's some areas offering candles. There's another place that seems to offer tapestries, cats, gems, crystals, and tarot readings. It's called Sarah's Stories. You're not sure exactly what's going on there, but their logo seems to be outlining some sort of lizard person. Really weird time. You'll also see a couple of more buildings. There's one around town that you can see is just kind of a little run down. It's labeled the Thieves Guild. You'd think that everything but the walls were stolen out of it. And then just a little bit further, you'll see the orphanage, which actually looks to be in great shape. There's a small old lady who has a rather large staff in her hands. She looks to you all.
Hello there, beautiful.
Oh, well, hello. Have you seen any of the children around? It's been a few days.
Johns is going to step up.
No, we haven't seen any of the children, but first things first, ma'am, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Agnes.
Agnes, I'd like you to meet Amos. What are you doing for dinner later today?
I'm gonna be taking a heaping of pills for Friday, and then I'll be catching up on Saturdays a little early. And then I'm gonna look for the children, and if I find out who took them, I'll kill them.
How about what?
How about you shut your face? This old man's got his own game he can play.
Going to do what with the children?
Oh, I'm not gonna kill the children. I'm gonna find out who took them, and I'm gonna slay whoever took them.
Yes.
I'll have you know, I used to be a brave woman in my day.
Go
Well,
right ahead,
gorgeous.
Amos.
Are you talking or am I talking?
What?
I'll back you up.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
That's kind of why we're here, gorgeous. Hey, you got the flyer, don't you? Don,
Just hands the flyer over to Amos and just sort of like walks off with his head in his palms. And he's just kind of muttering to himself, which Neffy will hear. Jesus Christ, these dang old people.
You'll hear a shh, keep it down. Yeah, put out the cigarette. A couple of halflings walk up behind you, Rook. One of them slicks their hair back a little bit. Another one scrapes off a little 5 o'clock shadow. Canonically, they don't grow facial hair, but we're just doing this for comedic effect. You'll see they stiffen up their clothing as they make their way up to the older lady. It's at this point that you notice her eyes are a little glazed over and white. You think she might have the early onset of cataracts. She's looking a little too closely at each person that passes by, but these halflings make their way up. You'll see they... Hello, miss! We're here for school! Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm glad to see you're still here. Please make your way back. There's some cookies and some soup ready to go. Don't hurt, don't dawdle. You want to make sure you get your serving. She pats each of them on the back. One of the halflings looks over their shoulder to lock eyes with you all, and kind of puts a hand across the neck to and makes their way inside. You think there might be a few halflings tricking this woman into thinking that she's caring for orphans.
Rook is kind of going to look towards Amos and just go, like, real close, lean in so the old lady can't hear. And Rook's going to go to Amos. You know, I bet we could just say we found her children just now, get our money, and leave.
I think I'd rather see this beautiful young thing taken care of. How about this? I take the good-looking lady out on a date tonight, and you have a talk with the halflings while we're gone. See what's what.
Always sounds great splitting the party.
I feel like I'd rather have you here to deal with the halflings. And then once they're dealt with, you can take her out on all the dates you want. We're going to be here a while.
All right, give me a second. Amos is going to walk up to the old lady. Oh, beautiful. Here. I heard one of the children saying they haven't had candy since they were 5 years old. Take this gold coin, head into town, and get as much as you can for the young ones. I'll keep watch over them till you get back.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it. Did they say what kind of candy? I forget.
You know those little pink candies that you can only find in the specialty stores?
Oh, with the little strawberry inside, yes.
You got it, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'll be right back. So she's off to go get some Nana candy. What are you guys gonna do with that orphanage full of adult halflings?
As soon as the lady is out of earshot, Amos is gonna go like, all right. Every halfling, raise your hand. Every human, just sit tight.
You'll see one of the halflings jumps onto a table and with a look and demeanor that can only be matched by the stand-up comedian John Mulaney says, "Everybody scatter!" Takes a 40, drops it on the ground, thing shatters everywhere. Halflings are running like mad. They look like a bunch of little hamsters going crazy. They're all looking for exits. They bump around into one another like pool balls, and they try and escape their way out the front and back doors. When all is said and done, you see one small human child looking very confused.
Well, sit tight.
Do you think this child might know anything about the other children?
I was just thinking that.
Hi.
What's your name?
Frank. My friend Pete gave me a juice box, but it didn't taste too good. You'll see the kid points down towards a an obviously open beer.
Hey, Frank, did you have other friends that lived here that don't live here anymore?
Yeah.
You know where they went?
Yeah.
Where?
They said I can't tell.
I say you can tell.
You know, Frank, I think if you'd tell us where the others went, Miss Agnes might have some candy for you.
Well,
And on top of that, you might just get to see your old friends again.
and you want to see my toys first?
Why not?
This child leads you towards a back room. There's several different bunks, a lot of which have there's a couple of pinup calendars. There's some smokes lying around, several ashtrays, lighters, matches. You're looking at daggers, pieces of cast-off armor, hats, vests. There's a lot lying around here that should not be around a child. And then the one child's area you'll see has a couple of stacked blocks, as well as a small toy boat. The child seems very interested in teaching you all about the boat and wants to tell you about which side is the port and the anti-port. They say, and then they call it the starboard now, because when people used to yell port and anti-port when stuff was going crazy, they got confused, so they run to the wrong side. So now they say starboard because it sounds different.
Do you like dolls, Frank?
Yeah?
How about, and Johns takes out the strange doll from his backpack.
How about if you tell us where your friends have gone, I can give you this doll. It does cool things, too.
I'd really like that. I think that, that would be like, kind of really cool. Like if I could just play with the doll. Can I keep it?
Of course. You'll be able to play with your friends, too.
Oh, thank you.
All you have to do is tell us where your friends went, Frank.
Oh, they went south to Clubhead.
Did they happen to go with anyone?
No. They went alone. They said they were going to go fight some big bad guys.
How long ago was this?
It's April now. a couple days after the middle of February. It's like
Oh,
a month
Christ.
and a half.
Johns, give the boy the doll. We're moving. Frank, you wait here. Miss Agnes will be right back with some candy.
Okay.
While this is going on, Rook is just writing a note furiously to the halflings that says, "Keep the old woman afloat, take care of the kids, and if you see that old man again, help him get laid." And is just taking one of the daggers and pinning it to the table.
I don't need help.
Would you rather Johns help you, or the 40 halflings who appear as endearing children to your love interest help you?
I think if you can't do it yourself, what's the point? Anyways, we got at least half a dozen children that we should make sure aren't dead first.
That's fair. Frank, you said south to where was that again?
He said they went to Clubhead.
Yeah, they went due south to Clubhead. They said that they had to go fight a big Mr. Orc.
Thank you, Frank. Wait
Yeah.
here. Your friends will be back, and so will Agnes with candy.
How many of them were there?
Amos is going to whisper to Rook, "You really shouldn't promise anything."
I think there was 10.
10. Okay.
Upon further looking in, can I have an insight check from anyone interested?
I got an 8.
21.
13.
So, each of you on your corresponding insight checks will all note that this child cannot count as high as your insight check. You don't have a bearing on how many halflings have left here. There are a lot of bunks, and drastically less halflings that you saw inside playing cards. You think that they might have been gone for a while. There are a couple of bunks with dust on them. The ones with the dust seem to have the most pointy items inside. Different cubbies are laden with rather sharp knives, a couple of short swords. This is like you get the feeling that they might have just been using this place for free room and board, but they were kitted with some rather insane weaponry here, or at the very least for commoners.
Rook is gonna look over at Frank and be like, "Frank, do you think your friends would mind us borrowing some of their toys for this adventure?"
Yeah, they said not to touch him.
Right. Could you turn?
Maybe we can bring them to them.
What'd you say, Rick?
I was asking if Frank could turn and face the corner.
Okay. Maybe you can bring them to them. Can you be safe?
Yes, I'll happily bring their toys to them. Amos, take everything that's not nailed down.
You got it.
Neffy, you'll note that Frankie seems a little confused, but seems to be looking to you as the big kid in the room, and is trying to figure out what you want to do.
I think they'll be so happy when we bring them their toys, and they'll be excited to come home. I bet they miss you too.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I miss them.
While they're gathering stuff, I'll sit down and talk to him more about the boat.
Alright.
And ask questions.
He talks about the first time that he had ever seen a boat. There was a dwarven woman who had a rather flowery shirt on. She had mentioned to him about the various threats out at sea. He tells you that he wants to slay the monsters at sea, the really big ones, the ones with the big tentacles. He'll also talk to you about the wild flatlands that he heard about to the north, where there were big old beasties to fight. He said that he wants to set up a farm there someday, but first he wants to be a brave sea captain. At further investigation, you think He seems to know a lot more about the geography than almost anybody else you've talked to so far.
Can I ask him about like his family?
Go right ahead.
Frank, I love how much you know about the sea. I'm from a forest, and I live there with my family. Do you remember your family before you came to live here with Miss Agnes and all your friends?
Yeah, my daddy played a instrument.
He did. He was a bard.
Mm-hmm.
What about your mom? Do you remember her?
Nah, she died of the fugue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, my big brother runs an inn.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Is it here in this dome city?
Yeah.
Do you ever get to see him?
No.
What's his name?
Jimmy.
Well, maybe when you're old enough, you can visit him.
Yeah.
I will switch back to talk that makes him happier until they're done.
And then Dwarven lady said that there was this big monster, this really big one with like big jaws that swam around. And I asked her why she was never in the dome, and she said that she wasn't born here. And she said that there were other people that weren't born here as well, and we could meet them. And I asked where there were, and she said everywhere. And I said I don't know where everywhere is. We just got out of this dome a couple months ago. And then she said that there was a bunch of places that there could be gone to, and I want to go to them like when I'm older.
You're gonna do that, buddy. I know you are. You are super determined. Yep, you're gonna travel. You're gonna sail the seas, and you're gonna build a farm.
Well, there's this really nice man named Tassels that he visited outside the dome once, and he gave a bunch of money to here, and he said that the orphanage needed to keep going because he thought it was a good place, and he said that if I ever needed a work when I got older, that I could go to the Forest of Screams and he would put me right to work.
Well, I've been to the Forest of Screams, and it's not very nice.
Yeah, well, neither am I.
You are too nice. Why aren't
Just too tough.
you can be tough and nice at the same time? Do you beat people up for no reason? Or do you just defend yourself?
I think you and I come from different kinds of orphanages.
Well, I don't come from an orphanage.
Explains a lot.
I gotta stand up for myself. When people used to make me tea, I gotta show them who's boss.
Sounds really
You could even start working, when you get old enough, you could start working for your brother in his tavern or inn or whatnot. That's honest.
I wouldn't call it honest, but it's money.
Dude, I'm working with castles. Bradley, you're killing me. Are you boys done collecting things yet? Jeez.
By the way, this whole conversation, I assume Amos was doing this as well, but Rook was like going through the daggers and the knives and the short swords and like trying to find a decent one. It's not just a generic one.
Quite a lot of them look to be of decent to skilled make. They would catch a fair rate if you were trying to sell them back. All of which have a small crest on the bottom of them with a claw that is shattered.
I was
That are a decent size for a little baby force gnome.
For a little baby what?
Well, for me. And crossbow.
For yourself, yes. And I heard a question from Amos. What was that?
Oh, I was just trying to say that I was planning on burying these out in the boons when we got rid of them. Don't want them getting back in the hands of those halflings.
And I heard Rook as well.
Oh, I was just going to point out the hilarity of that entire conversation Neppy was having, because I don't believe you got off Rook's shoulder the entire time.
This kid was looking up and talking to Pikachu the whole time.
Every time Rook tried to turn away, I'd smack him topside the head.
You know that these halflings are bad.
I'm looking at Amos.
Well, they've been taking advantage of an elderly lady that can no longer see properly.
Well, what I see here is this is an orphanage. It houses small people, gives them food and shelter. What are they doing wrong?
Taking advantage of an elderly lady that can barely see.
I don't understand.
They're adults. They should be able to provide for themselves.
So you're okay with one type of welfare, but not the other?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
At that, we are at the 9 o'clock mark here in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. We are going to do a 15-minute break if everybody is just about resolved here, and then we will pick back up heading south, investigating towards the area known as Clubhead. We will meet you all back in 15 minutes. Don't mind me, I'm just turning the sound off. Hello and welcome back. We are back for part 2 of today's adventure. We have a wonderful cast and crew today. We've got Amos, Johns, Neffy, and Rook all ready to adventure. Where last we left off, we were heading south towards the area known as Clubhead from a town called Broken Claw. We've had just a brief introduction to this town. We've gotten to know just a little bit of the lay of the land. Folks are learning now that the halflings nearby have been posing as elven children for free stay at the orphanage. There have been some missing, and they were going to go save some people from Clubhead. Today we'll focus on trying to get them back or see what there is to see amongst this area. Our party will pick up today traveling south. What will you all be doing or discussing?
Well, Amos, for your date tonight, I would be more than willing to avail my stylist Bart to spruce you up a little bit, maybe fix you up. What do you think?
Are you trying to say that I'm anything less than perfect right now?
I think everyone can always have a little improvement. Maybe a spritz of lavender.
Them's fighting words. I'm perfect.
So that's a no.
Maybe.
So, Rook, you can also make acorn pancakes, or if you whip it up really nice, you can make like an acorn butter to put on the acorn pancakes. There's so many things that you can make with acorns. They're just amazing, really.
Oh, Neffy, if I can ask, what is it with druids and acorns? Because this is, and I mean you no offense, the 23rd time in my life I've heard a druid talk about recipes with acorns.
Don't knock 'em till you try 'em.
Exactly. Amos knows. Not Amos. Was it? Yeah, that was Amos. It's just look, they're so plentiful. Look around. And if you get
Oh, yeah.
and train them, they can collect them for you. Work's already done, and it's great. I live in the forest, remember? It's not like I can go out and catch a sea bass.
That's fair, but don't forests
Trust
usually
me,
have...
they're delicious. I spent a summer abroad with a druid once. I don't think I ate better in my entire life.
All right. Amos, if you promise to help her cook them, I will try acorn whatever sometime
Yay!
in the future. Johns, out of curiosity, how the heck did you end up in... And Rook just kind of snarls vaguely and gestures at the world around him.
I've just been walking, just walking. I'm kind of lost, really.
Aren't we all?
So you didn't wake up in a pod?
I don't remember. I think so.
There goes my best bet at figuring this dimension out and how to get us all home.
What was that about glass pods? I don't remember anything either.
Amnesia seems like the easiest thing,
I think the proper term is dementia, but sure.
Ah, yes.
A fresh vanilla bean pod right in there with the pancake mix. Perfect, guys. I'm telling ya.
Do you know where we can get vanilla in this place?
No idea. I don't know. I've only been here once, and it was against my will.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I even slept.
So what are we going to expect here in that case? If you're the expert?
Well, I figure there's a general store somewhere.
Neffy?
Can that guy give you a card?
Yeah, he did. You want to read it?
Is it in Druidic or Gnomish?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's common. Here, he would have wanted my maybe granddaughter to read it too.
I'll wait for the DM to come back with its post-its.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say that word.
What is a D? And Rook is just slowly getting more and more of a headache and goes, Johns, would you like to offer Neffy a ride for a while?
Oh no, I think she might leave a butt print on my armor. It's newly polished.
You have vassals to polish your armor the minute she leaves.
Yes, but then I might look a little bit less perfect. I'm not going to do that.
You try looking a little more like me, then you'll really be perfect.
I think we should cut the little spritz of hair that's on the top of your head.
You touch it and I'll end your life.
Yeah, I'm back. You were mentioning reading more into a thing, Neffy? What is it you're looking to look into?
I'm sorry, that's a bit of a sensitive subject for me, Johns.
I'm glad you have something that's sensitive still.
I think that man with all the zippers gave Amos a card for a store.
Oh, that.
Yeah, my maybe granddaughter wanted to read it.
I didn't want to. I just was... We were talking about stores.
Place is less a store and more a, what's the word?
Maybe Miss Marvell knows a store.
I figure she's got to get her silk from somewhere.
Maybe I could cast light on your eyebrows, give you a little bit of a glint.
You trying to say I look like my eyes are glazed over?
You know, there's a little darkness around your eyes, in the lower part. Could you
Yeah.
bring that out and, try to wash it out a little bit with some light?
I like that part. It's my favorite part of my face.
Oh, it's not good.
Gives it
Don't-
depth.
Don't listen to him, Amos. You're a perfect silver fox. And I should know. And Rook just kind of tosses his silver gray hair back.
Thank you, my maybe grandson.
Amos, do you change colors with the seasons?
Me? Why? What?
Well, the silver white fox is only silver white in the winter, and then in the summer he's more reddish. So does your hair change color?
Oh, the hair doesn't change color, but if I stand out in the sun too long, the top of my head does.
Here's a fun fact about Christina. Since we missed that part because my audio wasn't working, I recently shaved my head because my second mom is going through chemo and learned the hard way that I need to wear a hat in the sun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my aunt made a pretty stringent point of putting sunscreen on through my hair when I was a kid because of that same thing.
John's cast Spare the Dying on Amos.
I'm not that old. At least I don't think.
I'm just preparing for the inevitable.
I'll let you know when I'm on my way out, thank you. Actually, you'll probably be able to tell.
Will you finally tell us your age? Is that why?
No, my plan is when I'm close to death, I'm going to do every hard drug I've put off doing until now.
Do you have them on you right now?
No, I was kind of hoping I'd find a guy, but I'm in no rush.
What drugs are difficult to do?
Oh, well, I've pretty much avoided every single one of them. That's kind of how I got this old. But when I do get to that age, which is not a specific age I will be inclined to tell any of you, I plan on acquiring every single one of them, doing them in one swallow.
My grandma has a glucosamine chondroitin vitamin pill that's really hard to swallow because it's so big.
Yeah, are these like big vitamins? Is that what's going on? That you're talking about big, giant vitamins that are hard to do?
Some of them, yes.
Or just the non-chewable ones? That's what that's why they're hard.
Oh, I can chew just fine. Dental hygiene is really important for someone my age.
Are those the teeth you were born with?
I don't want to talk about it. I met a mage once that kind of pulled some shenanigans.
Is that another question you don't ask a woman?
That's a story for another day.
Well, Amos, I have a question for you.
As long as it's not about how old I am.
Oh, no. It's just how long have you been practicing to swallow all these drugs simultaneously? Because that sounds like it's going to take a lot of practice.
Oh, I haven't practiced one bit. We'll see what happens when it goes down.
Oh, great. So you're going to choke. Got it. You
We'll
won't
just
get to
cast
enjoy
Enlarge
the
on him.
drugs. There's an idea. Do you know that spell? Because I've only seen it once.
I've been thinking about it when I daydream, but not yet. No.
Huh.
You've been thinking about enlarging Amos?
And reducing things, just to in case things don't fit in certain areas.
You know, I've actually shrunk 4 inches in the past 20 years or so.
In which direction, Amos?
Oh, don't you worry. One part of me's the same as it ever was.
So, John, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you met us?
Oh, well, I was at the church worshiping the Red Lady. She's magnificent, you know. My daily regiment is I wash my face and then I wash my underarms. You want to do the face first, not the other arms. Then the other extremities, you know, no particular order. I like to use a loofah.
And he takes out his backpack, you know, kind of a sponge looking hard object.
And this here exfoliates the skin. Um, let's see what else. Well, then Bart will take and he'll do my hair. He likes to comb it back, and then he likes to put some different things in it. Herbs, some different conditioning kind of things, makes it sparkle.
Are they good for the planet? I've heard sparkles are not good for the planet.
Well, the only thing about it is it seems to get everywhere. Bart is very glittery most of the time.
That doesn't seem to either answer my question or be good for the planet.
I don't understand.
Art.
But all that said, don't I look great?
Wonderful, wonderful. I was more curious about if you had made any money before meeting us, any jobs in the area you've done.
Well, I healed some different people. Nothing of a good story. I have a bit of money, but I guess you could say I spend it quite quickly on the fine arts.
It is at this point that Rook is just going to kind of look at Neffy and go, fine, what?
Well, if you grind the acorn more, it's finer than if you don't. So I guess it would be really smushed up art.
And you consider this art, not food, because we're back on the acorns again, and I swear you use acorns for everything.
Have you ever whistled with an acorn? It's super loud. It's
I
a
have not.
emergency thing. You just take the cap, not the whole acorn.
There are other ways to whistle?
But are they as fun, Amos?
I can't imagine so. I've scared the britches off of some people with those acorns.
Oh,
Amos,
actually, you can whistle with grass too. Like regular old green grass. That's super loud. It's like piercing. I bet you could do like damage to someone's eardrums. They should make
Seems like you know an awful lot about the forest. The little bit that I know, druids usually have a specialty. I take it that you are, you know, good in the forest.
I'm a forest gnome. It's where I live. So yeah. I've got like, I don't know, 30
Great.
years.
Now that we got that out of the way, what do you do for magic? Do you have any specialty there, or is it just like speaking with animals?
Well, I'm a level 1, so I'm kind of limited. If I were to, put it in a level sense.
what do you mean levels, Neffy? What are these levels?
Don't you
I mean,
remember that
sometimes-
rating system?
Sometimes I judge myself and I go, look at me. I'm a level 1, and that person over there who has like twice as much experience is a level 2.
So you're trying to say you can't really do anything?
Again, would you like me to read off all the spells I know today?
If that's the best way to do it.
Okay,
Neffy,
hold on.
Neffy, I will only accept it if you do this in Druid.
Okay. Not a
I can cast stab if anyone's interested.
I cast punch really well, and also stab to a lesser extent.
It's at this point that the group will see there are some tracks worth following.
Are these tracks small, as if from children?
Yeah. They look to be of a quick pace. You'll see some cigarette butts and some candy. This mixture of items on their person suggests that this is probably the halflings that you're looking for. You'll note
Do
that
we
they are
see
having...
James Woods?
Hmm?
Do we see James Woods?
Oof. No. However, you do successfully make your way a bit south. There is a change in the foliage as you're making your way out. It is a little bit more arid and a little bit more shrubby. Travel through here is a little bit thicker. You've picked up on a little bit of a trail. You think this might have been some attempt at a game path for some animals at some point, but it looks ill-maintained or at least ill-traveled. You think that may be because of a large presence of maybe less consistent predators that are driving smaller, maybe dog-sized or fox-sized predators to change up their habits. It'll be about a quarter mile in where you'll see a droplet of blood dried on the ground, as well as a missing shoe. Seems to have been cast off. Matches the shoe that you'd seen Frankie wearing as well. You think that the halflings may have been equipped in a similar circumstance to the halflings that you'd all kicked out just a few moments prior. I say a few moments, it's been probably a couple hours at this point traveling. The day is turning to evening, not quite dusk yet, and so nobody will be suffering any penalties without light. However, you do see a bunch of trees off in the distance. What would the party like to do?
We must go forward in haste. Who's the best at tracking here? Is that Amos? Do your eyes fail you?
My eyes are just fine, thank you.
Well, I'm glad for that.
I'm fairly proficient at tracking things.
Lead us there. We must go. I will be by your side, protecting you and myself. And you.
I'll be off
and
in the
you.
bushes about 20 feet that way.
Alrighty. At that point, I'm going to start streaming my screen on Tabletop Simulator.
Brad, in case you didn't catch that, Amos would like to follow stealthily just behind the group.
Oh yeah, 20 feet?
Yep.
Okay.
You can walk on our own at this point, if that's easier, too.
So, I wasn't a huge fan of how last game looked. What I've decided to do is try and switch up how Tabletop Simulator looks and get a little bit different about how I do the minis. So I'm just going to share my screen with y'all. At which point I will also
Ooh, green.
rework the rest of the image.
Amos's wrinkled forehead looks like a unibrow.
Jones, I think there's a hair out of place.
That's not a nice thing to say about a lady.
Can only
I
do
also
so
think
much
that's,
adventuring.
I also think that's an old Amos mini because he has khaki pants there.
Does he not have khaki pants now?
I think you're like 6 versions behind because he got suspenders and no belt buckle.
I can't.
Also
keep up
gave
with
his
all
head a
these.
little bit of a shine.
I've only got one file that I can use at a time. I was getting the minis ready.
Give him a sunburn on top of his head.
Usually there is a visible table I've decided to change this look and give more of a generic look. These will be trees that a person can post up onto. They've got a
It looks
standard-
enormous.
Yeah, this is 30 feet up. So for the tabaxis that would be climbing up, if they were to become playable in the future, that would be the tree that you would want to defer to. I'm just going to take a moment to pause. I want to see if folks at home have any sort of reviews or questions or concerns. If anybody has any comments on this new style of screen sharing, please let me know.
It's all new to me.
Yeah,
Or if they would like to choose a new outfit for Amos.
dress Amos. Rook, you look faceless.
That would be because my mini skin is dark blue.
He's tan.
Yes. In the character description, he has traveled across many realms, and his skin is almost the same color as a cobalt dragon because he's tan, something which is just never seen in Drow. So he just looks weird. Normally,
So I'm
he'd
just
be
gonna-
like a pale blue.
Point out at this point, this is my second time here, so I've traveled across many realms now too.
Mm-hmm. It's true. There's like several realms.
We're considered well traveled if we've been to on our second game now.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep, you guys are the explorers of the land. It's a good time.
I'm very experienced.
You are. At this point, you will all come across a area with some halflings. We've got Amos messing around about 20 feet off.
So you remember how last time Amos snuck off, he rolled a nat 20?
That happened again.
It did.
What you'll see over here is a couple of halflings tied to a tree. They seem to be looking a little confused and a little nervous. One of which is beckoning towards you all. Trying to get everybody to come over by. Amos, you have found a bush. Definitely worth hiding behind. They're trying to get you to come over and help them. Do you go over and help them?
Nope.
Okay. Just a few more moments. And we've got ourselves a bush. What would you like to do, Amos?
Amos is just keeping an eye out on where the party is going and what might be keeping an eye on them.
Alrighty. You're keeping an eye out on the party. I'd love to know what Johns is up to.
I want to be hand in hand walking with Rook. We see halflings. What is there? Does this look like an obvious trap or no?
I'd love to see a survival check from you to determine that.
18.
18 will see that this is a decent trap at the very least.
While he's looking specifically for traps, Rook is just kind of looking around, surveying the forest, seeing if he can spot any movement. And I got a 23 perception.
Rook, you see that on the 23 in perception, you've got a pretty good look at the rest of the battlefield. I say battlefield because off in the distance you see that there are some mean orc-looking folks with weapons. You'll hear off in the distance a "Faisha, Faishum Putye!" There is a throwing up of a large sheep, putting the sheep onto a large block. One of the orcs takes a battle axe and chops its head off very quickly. Another one begins skinning it, and they're getting ready to cook this sheep now. Another one motions over towards the halflings nearby. You'll see that the halflings are pointing over towards all you. Hey guys, see them over there? They're assholes. Get them, please. They are looking very confused, very scared. You've heard that they've been gone for well over a month. There was more than a dozen, or around a dozen of them that left. The kid that estimated couldn't count. But what's most notable is that you only see maybe 4 or 5 halflings total. You do, however, see that, and this is where I've marked off these square blocks. These are buildings. So this would be a building. They are set up rather shabbily. They seem to be built more for being built up and taken back down. There's some animals throughout the area. You'll note a couple of wargs are tied off over here, over on the left-hand side. Those don't seem to be intended for battle or released for battle. You get the feeling that they might not be great to engage with if they were to get loose. How would the party like to approach this?
I'm going to point this out to Neffy and Johns and just be like, Amos, wherever you are, figure the halflings out. Maybe they'll help us. And then do what you do.
Neffy, what are you like, or what are you up to right now? What would you like to be doing?
I don't see any extra wide trees with dark bark, do I?
Nope. Right now it's not necessarily dark, so you don't need dark vision to be able to see into the distance. But you've got standard humanoid vision. Not too great. You can see that there are some figures moving out in the distance. You can see some halflings. Other than that, you've got about the norm.
Okay. I will.
Amos is going to walk up to the halflings that are tied to the tree, retaining stealth if he can.
Stealth check, please.
Can Johns
That
help
is-
by he'll look over to Rook. I don't think he knows, but that Amos is doing anything. But Johns will say to Rook, "We looks like we should charge at these orcs."
That is 12 plus 9, Brad, for 21.
On a 9 plus 10, you are
12 plus 9.
9 plus 10, 21. That's what the vine said. Hey, oh, yeah, you will note that there is a bit of travel. You're able to get your way towards a group of halflings. You are currently a moving bush. You're able to...
Psst! Hell! The old lady at the orphanage, what's her name?
The old lady at the orphanage? Huh?
What's her name?
Well, the old lady, her name is Agnes. She's really, really nice. We're actually her orphans. You'll smell booze on this halfling's breath. You'll also see like a little bit of extra hair growing out the ears. There's a little bit of extra age on this halfling that you were not necessarily expecting.
Amos is going to unsheath his cane sword and put it up to this halfling's neck. And
All right.
just how strong is that alcohol you've been drinking, Shenny?
We're playing ball. What do you want?
About a month ago, orphans left. At least half a dozen. You know what happened to them?
Buddy, we've been starving out here for well on a couple of weeks. What do you think happened to us? We came down here trying to rescue our friend. See this one dame, real nice gal, you know what I'm saying? She was friends with a lot of guys. She had a lot of guy friends. Well, she wanders off with a bunch of gold from the orphanage. You know, she makes her way past. You know, she's got the whole orphanage's worth of stuff. You know, she's like this. Of all the orphanages where all the orphans go, where they have nothing, she took all the nothing that they had. She wandered off with it. We said, okay, we'll go after, we'll get it. You know, try and see if we can rescue it from her. You know, because we're very nice patrons like that, and we want to steal from the rich to give to the poor, like the lady that runs the orphanage, and by extension us. So we come back down here. We think that she's traveled south, because, you know, where do you go when you steal a bunch of gold? Yeah, you head south, you head north. We flip the coin, head south, and next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, we're tied to a tree, doing some work for some orcs that are not very nice. They're killing up our friend, you know, Pete, and then Skinny Dan, and, you know, they chop up Skinny Dan. They didn't really like Skinny Dan, so they went for, you know, Chubby Ben over there, and they went for, you know, Tall Steve, and they got everybody. You know, it was real rough. You know, there's only a couple of us left. You know, we're trying our best. You know, we're just, you know, we're making it day by day. Another one jabs him in the ribs. We haven't had much time to talk here with anybody but ourselves. You'll see that this halfling has a rather large ring on their pinky. This one smells strongly of expensive cigars. They've been out here for a while, but their stenches seem to have lingered on them, or maybe even strengthened, given their time just in the baking sun. Yeah, you know, the orcs back there, they said that they've got a couple of more halflings set to come in. I think they're keeping some more out back in one of those buildings. I don't know what that's going to look like, but, you know, whatever that turns
Can
into.
Amos get an insight check to see whether or not they really reflect those good intentions they're talking of?
Yeah.
16 plus 1.
They wanted a cut. They didn't get it. They followed her down here. Found orcs instead.
All right. But I don't believe a damn word you've been spout.
Yeah, you're wise not to. In thieves' can't you'll hear. Yeah, you know, we're working men. We make money where money is. Sometimes when money's a little dry, we live where money isn't. Capiche?
Answer me this. Was a single one of those children at the orphanage not one of you halflings?
Yeah, it was this little kid, Frankie. Real great kid, really into boats. Was like obsessed with the damn things. Yeah, it was real nice. You know, he had a lot of ideals. Wanted to explore the place. He met up with this dwarven lady that kept stealing shirts from people. It was a whole time. We made a whole story of it. That was the one kid.
Frank is a good kid. Now tell me this. Are you going to go back to that orphanage and make sure Frank and Agnes are well taken care of?
Well, yeah, anybody crosses them, they're dead. What do you think we're doing over here? What you think we're going to let go of our cover? Hell no.
I think you've been trying to get a little bit of that money that female halfling you described to me made off with earlier.
Of course, aren't you? I thought that was why you were here.
I'm here to make sure that orphanage is well taken care of.
Oh, you're here to make sure the orphanage is well taken care of. Well, you know, I respect your motivations, and, you know, honestly, if anybody crosses our boy Frankie, they're dead. You know, you ever seen somebody taken inside out, put up in front of a bunch of people, and then made to dance like a kebab? No, you don't see many people have that kind of treatment, because nobody crosses Frankie. But if they cross Frankie, we're looking at a whole different story. Don't even get me started. At this point, you'll see that a couple of the orcs nearby are starting to look back. Party! Prisoner go talk! Get on! You'll hear one of the orcs meander their way over. There was a rather enthusiastic yell. You think they just have bad hearing because their ears are a little small and kind of malformed.
Amos is a bush.
Amos is a bush with legs. Currently, the legs are tucked up in the bush. I thought I told you be quiet. Hey, whoa, nobody's being talkative over here. We're just sharing stories from our past about... What were we sharing stories about, boys? Oh, we were sharing stories about lighting fires on one side of town and sneaking booze in the other. No, we weren't telling stories about that at all. No, we were telling stories about doing kind and orderly deeds for the orphanage that we're from.
Me not think you from orphanage at all. Me think you belong on dinner table.
You'll see that this orc is pulling out a rather large cleaver and is making their way over to the one in front of you.
That bush grow very fast. Did you make it grow fast? Are you wizard?
Oh, nobody is a wizard. No, we're not wizards. No, we're not wizards at all.
Amos is Stabby Bush.
Stabby Bush, let's see a stabby. Is anybody off in the distance going to be doing anything about this? Or are you guys just kind of watching
While
this
this
play
is
out?
happening, Johns was asking Rook if we should charge at them, and Rook said, well, I don't know how much charging the wee one will do, but after you.
I'm charging in.
We're going to give you 2 turns
Advantage
of movement.
on.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever you want to.
For our Bush Amos, you'll have advantage on that attack.
Oh, thank goodness, because that was a 3 and then a nat 20.
Huh?
Alright, so that is 2d8. 5. And 2d6. 9. 14.
14 damage.
Yes, sir.
The orc looks over to the bush that has a little ruffle or rustle. You will cleave deep into the orc. The orc falls over. You know, I was actually just thinking about taking up a lot of volunteering, says one of the halflings. The other one nods very hurriedly and looks over to the bush, very afraid. For the rest of the
Amos
party,
is going to drag the orc body into the bush with him, as not to leave a trace.
okay, you have acquired an orc body. You'll be moving at half movement speed. For the rest of the party, you are making your way forward. The orcs are just kind of yelling something about a wah. You think that might be in some way related to Warhammer. You're not sure exactly how.
Can I say something?
Definitely. What are you up to, Neffy?
Well, first of all, how far is it to anywhere? The tree or the
60 feet over to
Okay.
the halflings at the tree, and about 150 from the gathering around a campfire.
Okay. That's not what I was going to say. That was just a question. But the other thing is, don't forget your blessing of the storm or whatever.
Oh, right.
D4 to add back.
Totally forgot that.
I don't know how long it lasts. If it's expired, but I just remembered it.
Next roll, Brad, or just toss it?
We're going to go next roll. So, Neffy, what are you up to?
I guess I will dash towards the works with my quarterstaff. Couldn't remember the word. So 50 feet because I'm a little short-legged thing. Yeah.
You successfully dash 50 feet. Johns?
It still leaves me with a bonus action. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So I will cast Shillelagh.
Casting Shillelagh. You are bearing a Shillelagh. It is ready to shillelagh.
And I will yell, "Don't hurt the sheepy!" as I go.
Alrighty. The sheep is already well undead. Like, there's a head on one end and then a body on the other. It's a rough sight. Like the
And
energy.
I will yell a yellow card. In Druidic. No, in Druidic.
Okay.
Sorry. Premature.
Happens all the time.
You'll hear a
Waiter! We kill sheep for fun!
one of them rushes towards you. At which point, Johns and Rook, what are you up to?
I'll run just my movement 30 feet and hold an attack for if someone's getting in line. I'm just kind of like marching forward, not running.
Rook?
I am going to divert off towards the halflings if I can reach them.
You can dash over to get to them entirely?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll do that. And I'm going to tell the halflings, you seen a stabby jackass around anywhere? Oh, pardon me.
One of them will point over towards the thing in the bushes. You'll note that there is a dead orc body lying in the bushes right now, as well as a rather crotchety old man. You're not sure which one they're pointing to, but they're pointing very much towards that bush after you mention that.
Got it. All right, so here's the deal. I don't know what he told you, but I'm going to give you two choices. You can either run or you can help kill orcs.
How about this? You cut us free, we help you take the orcs, and we split some of the good stuff, because we know what the good stuff is.
That's fine. As long as the old lady is taken care of and he gets laid, we're cool. And I'm going to, if I can, take one of the several daggers and cut one of them loose and hand him the dagger.
All right.
You know, Rook, I think you're a little more interested in this than you should be.
Look, it's been a while for me too. I need one of us to get a win.
Been about a week for me, so.
It's been about 3 years.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I will be just a few moments. I'm just getting ready for like when this initiative is about to get rolled. I apologize for the wait, friends.
Johns yells out to this conversation, "Come along with me, and you shall have it all."
Well, the tiny forest gnome is taking on the orcs, gentlemen.
Amos is going to cut the halflings free. And the rapier is going to get just a little bit too close to their wrist as he does it, just to remind him what Amos is all about.
They have a really good idea of what Amos is all about. They do not seem keen on disappointing him.
And I'm just going to
That's
dump
right.
3 of their own short swords on them and be like, you know where those came from.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, we're aware of where everything happened. They are free currently and are going to move 5 in the other direction. You weren't expecting them to have their own knives. They have knives. They're not the knives that they had in town. They seem to be made of wood and a little bit of sharpened stick. Each one of them has one. You think that they've been working on these for a while, but might not have been able to cut themselves free yet. This has been...
I'm offering them short swords with their own broken claw symbol on it if they wanted them.
They're rushing, screaming. They will blow your cover as well. At that point, can I see everyone roll a initiative roll? I'm going to get up a initiative order in a moment. I'll ask for the rolled initiatives at that point as well.
Out in front, it's 4 short folks.
Alrighty. Can I get 25 to 20? Rough. 20 to 15.
16.
18 for John.
John, do you hear your servants are cowering in the distance? You think that they're a safe distance from you. They are not doing super well, but they're kind of doing their own version of Gary, he's our man, off in the distance. Can I get 15 to 10?
14.
What are we looking at for Rook?
9.
9.
Alrighty, we've got all that figured out. I'm going to add in orcs and halflings. So first up on our initiative will be John's. Taking a look at the battlefield as the orcs are starting to turn around. They're taking an interest in everybody. What would you like to do, Johns?
I'll move 30 feet forward. Can I put myself in between the halflings and the and my friend?
Yes.
And then I'll hold an attack for anyone that comes in range. I actually no. I'll use Sacred Flame on that guy. Sacred Flame, is that 60 or 30 feet?
I believe it's 60. I can check that for
I
you.
think it is too. Yeah.
I'm on the wrong screen. Don't mind me just multitasking.
I'm looking it up too. Spellcast 60 feet. Okay, cool.
Cool. Let's see it.
It is a dex saving throw. My DC is 13.
Dex saving throw.
For Chipper!
You succeed on that, and the orc has failed. Let's see some damage.
1 radiant.
1 radiant. We'll see the orc. Ooh! There's like a little red glow for just a half moment.
I'll just have my shield out. That's it for me for now.
Alrighty. Turn will then turn over to Amos. Amos! Man in the bush.
So, cover blown even with the handy dandy bush.
Half blown. You can stealth if you think it's worth it.
All right, Amos is going to attempt to retain his stealth. He's going to move towards the orcs while also walking behind the house structure that they have.
You make it over to here.
And every 30 feet, he makes sure to drop down as if he is an actual bush.
I need a stealth check from you.
That is 7 plus 9, 16.
16, we'll see. Hey, you feel pretty safe. You're also out of sight of the line of sight for most of them, so, you know, could be worse.
That's Amos's turn then.
Alrighty. Turn will then go over to Neffy. Neffy, you are charging some orcs right now who are currently being mean to a sheep. It's dead. What would you like to do?
Jerks. How far am I from that guy right there?
You've got about 40 feet. 45?
Okay, I am going to. I'm gonna go my full 25 and then cast produce flame.
Okay. Are you gonna cast it on this bad boy over here?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, you produce flame. He is currently aflame. At that point, what would you like to do? Sorry, let's see. So it's a dex save, is it?
No, it's actually a ranged spell.
Oh, what do you get to hit?
A 7.
A 7 to hit
Yeah.
will be a success.
Wow. Okay. I'll take it.
This one does not look to be too well armored. You are dealing with. Not
So he
exactly.
takes 7 points of fire damage.
Oh, that was 7 points of. Okay, sorry. What was your
It
modifier?
was 7 to hit and 7 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Go figure.
Okay, so 7 to hit will hit. These do not seem armored. They seem to be beefy in terms of health, comparatively to level 1s. 7 points of damage. We'll see it keel over just a little bit, as it had taken damage prior as well. Oof! It falls down. A couple more start to take notice. You think the threat for them may not be their size, but instead their numbers. Another halfling looks back over towards you. Seems to have been preparing some meat for them and nervously dancing and smiling for them. The turn will then progress over to the orcs. We have got a bunch of orcs who are all looking to get a piece of the action. Our melee friends will move forward. Our ranged friends are moving to the side. There's a yell. And you hear some rustling from one of the tents all the way in the back. You think that this might have been a gathering from a bunch of the folks that lived in the tents and houses nearby. One of the ranged is going to make an attack against you, Neffy, with a 7 to hit.
That will not hit.
A second one will attempt with a 22.
That will most definitely hit.
And that will see 5 piercing damage hit you, Neffy, as this orc has drawn a bow, and it is let go, landing true. Another ranged is looking off into the distance, trying to check for any other targets. And is going to go for the long shot for Johns. This other one can't really get a good beat on anybody other than Neffy. We've got Johns with a 16 to hit.
That misses.
And Neffy with a 14.
That will hit.
We're looking at a total of 4 piercing damage.
Still standing.
All right. At that point, the turn will go over to Rook.
I would like to get within 60 feet of one of the ranged ones if I can.
You might be a little far away. Yeah, you would need a dash for that.
Okay, am I at least within 60 of one of the melees?
Closest melee is 70 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna pull my short sword and dash towards them.
I would assume you're hugging towards the area that does not have line of sight.
Correct.
Cool, cool. That will see... Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Alrighty. Turn will then go over to the halflings. One of the halflings who was preparing food will take out a meat cleaver. Make their way over behind this half-orc. Sorry, this full orc. And you'll hear a... Oh! This one will topple to its legs. The halfling reaches up, Gets one last lick in, and you'll hear another couple of halflings. All three are making their way in towards. One of them gives you a pat on the side, Rook. Another one moves a little closer to the wall. This one is skirting over towards Neffy. You hear a, "Get ready, boys! We're coming in to get ya! Get out your hats!" That will see the turn go over to John's.
How far does 30 feet get me? I think I want to hold a spell, but I just want to know.
30 feet will get you here.
Ah,
25 feet.
I am going to. Can I have gone, let's say one step to my left instead, and then hold the spell Burning Hands for when at least 3 orcs are within a 15-foot cone of me. I am, as a free action, going to say, "Stand clear!"
Okay.
And that's it for me.
At that, the turn will go over to Amos. Mr. Bush, what would you like to do?
The bush is going to continue towards the house.
You're at the house.
Do I hear anything inside?
Nope.
You said these were tents, right?
There is probably an in-between between a tent and a regular house. There's an attempt at modular walling, as well as a more canvas roofing. These feel like they are a building meant for a nomadic people, but they're not exactly the most structurally sound, but they are a little bit more permanent than like a regular camping tent.
All right. How much movement does Amos have left?
30 feet of movement will take you right up to the entrance.
Perfect. In that case, Amos is going to continue being a bush.
Perfect. The turn will then go over to Neffy. Neffy, you're looking at a dead orc, another dead orc getting pummeled by a halfling, and a bunch of orcs that look very killable. What would you like to do?
Can I go up beside the dead orc and sort of use it as cover?
Definitely. You're small enough. I'd say you'll have half cover.
And then that not dead orc sort of directly in front of me.
This one?
I
Or this one?
take a shot at him with my sling. Or with something from my sling. I'm going to keep the sling, throw a rock.
Definitely.
So 9 to hit.
9 to hit will hit.
And 3 points of damage. I imagine bludgeoning, I'm not really sure.
Yes. You'll see how as one of them takes a rock to the knee. Doesn't seem too thrilled, but continues on. Anything else on your turn?
Does anyone on our side look rough besides me?
You don't think anybody's even been damaged yet. The closest rough folks would be the halflings.
Well, I only get one spell, so sorry for the halflings. They're not real orphans.
That will see the turn go over to the orcs, who are taking the bait. And are going to make their way up. Johns, you're going to make 5 of them make saving throws. What's your DC?
DC 13 Dex saving throw.
That will see a failure. Let's see some damage.
11 total.
You've got 5 well-cooked full orcs. That will see, yeah, bunch of dead orcs. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that was it for the hold action.
Cool. 2 of the ranged orcs are not going to like that. They're going to fire directly on you, Johns.
Are any of them within 30 feet of me? If so, I will use my reaction to give them disadvantage with my, it's not channel divinity, level 1 specialty thing for light cleric.
Yep. You impose disadvantage on this one. It has a 9 to hit you. The other one has a non-natural 20.
Yeah, that hits for the 20.
20 will see 6 points of piercing damage over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Another ranged orc is going to fire on Neffy. Neffy, your AC will effectively be increased by 5, given the half cover. You will have a 23 to hit you. What is your AC?
It is 13, so that's still gonna hit.
Okay. That will see 4 points of piercing damage hit you. It pokes through the orc that you're hiding behind and into you. It really hurts. The orc blood's covered on you. It's really nasty.
Well, I'm down, so I don't feel it. It's okay.
Neffy is currently not looking so hot. John, do you feel like being down next to you might be the perfect spot to be? At which point the turn will go over to Rook. Rook, you've noticed that one of the halflings is currently taking care of the orc nearby, and a couple of more halflings nearby you look to be doing the same. What would you like to do?
Rook, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot I wasn't on push to talk. I would like to go around the corner of the house, and that first orc that's not crispy, I would like to stab them.
Stabbity stab stab. Let's see the stab.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 to hit. We'll see a hit.
That is 4 damage off of the stab, and I'd like to go ahead and use my bonus action for my martial arts and make an unarmed attack to basically spin around and backhand him.
Let's see it.
That's an 18 on the die with a +5 to hit, so 23.
That'll hit.
And that will be 6 bludgeoning damage.
So, for anyone here familiar with martial arts, there's a move called a spinning back kick. Every now and again, there's a fighter that will use that in a professional fight, where instead of a back kick, the person is like guarding for a kick to the ribs, and they leave their face wide open. Now, our good friend Rook over here is backhanding them with these couple of knuckles. These ones right here, the tough ones, the ones that hurt, right across the jaw. I won't describe it in gory detail, but you've removed the jaw and a portion of the head. The orcs have just super soft bones. You're not sure what it is about these orcs just south of the domes themselves. It's almost as though they're purposely weakened to be a good level 1 encounter. But you paste this thing. Naturally selected has this orc been. Anything else you'd like to do?
Is the wall of the building next to me now a Jackson Pollock?
The wall, I'd say a mix between like a Jackson Pollock and like the angling that you went in with, and like the spray pattern. There's a Picasso actually to be found in it. Like there's some 3D work with like the imaging of the blood. It's just really fine, really ornate.
Dexter will be here later.
Yeah, he's a big fan. Yeah, I heard he paid top dollar to track down folks like yourself. Anything else you'd like to do?
If I have any movement left, I'd like to stalk towards that middle ranged orc.
Oh yeah, you got the middle ranged orc, and that middle ranged orc is feeling way too close and way too personal for this encounter. Anything else?
Well, that was my action, my bonus, and my move, so I'm out.
Cool. We will then turn over to... What am I doing? Looking at the initiative. We have got the halflings, who are... Stab. Squish, stab. Squish, stab. They are going to rush in like fools. According to Elvis, we're seeing 3 hits. This one will go down. This one is done bleeding out. And this one will hack and slash quite a lot like a Fallout song from Fallout 4. This one is going to go for a hackety-slashety at the ankles and knees. This seems to be a common tactic amongst the halflings. You'll hear a, get the boys inside! You'll hear a quick, rah! From inside. That will be in time for Amos to hear. Excuse me, just a couple of the halflings are inside of the building that you're looking into. You hear a creak of the door. One of the halflings is bound up. Looks like they just got caught with a cookie in the cookie jar as they're wiggling with 2 bound hands at a doorknob that they can barely reach. Seems to be of shabby make, like the door was just barely propped up. It's just like a simple, like a knob with a simple like latch that locks down over like a regular hook. They're struggling to get out, and there's a bang back and forth. Another one's cursing. You hear a clang of something. They're arming themselves behind that door. You think they think that you're an orc. That will bring the turn over to Johns, who is currently looking over his orcs that he likes extra crispy, and a downed Neffy. What would you like to do, Johns?
Oh, I'm on my last leg, so I feel a little bad. But I will spare the dying cantrip on Neffy, and then cast healing word on myself.
Alrighty. Applying the face mask to yourself in a downing airplane, you are seeing Neffy no longer making death saves, so that's good. You're up a bit of health. Anything else on your turn?
I will move to allow flanking for the halflings. So that one that's off to the left, that's the first one right there. Thank you. I'll position myself back to see if anyone's going up to Neffy, though.
Alrighty. That will see the turn go over to Amos. Amos, you've got a door that seems to have a bunch of halflings, half-cocked, half-loaded, full crazy, full hungry, and full armed. What would you like to do?
Would any of you like to join my friends and I in a little orc killing?
Yeah! The door opens up. Sorry, we're
Sword
just
is-
orphans. There's like facial hair going on some of them. Like they don't look like they've showered or been okay. There's just like beer and like jerky throughout this whole place. The orcs just threw this stuff at them to keep them alive.
Yeah, the sword was waiting at the door for when they opened it. Not to stab them, but just to show them that it's there.
The first halfling runs out and sees a sword like right here, and then like the body keeps moving, but the head has stopped just as it meets with the blade. Hey there, what's the big idea?
Oh, just a little show of force. Remember, I do this so you treat that little old lady and that boy Frank well. And the sword is removed. The sword is removed from the throat.
So, having threatened this halfling with their lives to be nice to an old woman, you've released 5 more halflings who are all ready for blood. They're going to emerge past you and move over yonder. Anything else?
As they walk around the corner, Amos is just going to say, "And remember, I could do it anytime I feel like."
That seems to be what they're afraid of. Are you going to be moving anywhere?
Yes, Amos will follow around the house along with the halflings.
Alrighty.
Abandoning stealth at this point, what would it take to prepare the buckler shield that he has?
That will be I'll call it a bonus action.
Make it so.
Anything else?
That'll be it.
Alrighty. The turn will then transition over to Neffy. Neffy! You feel like an afterlife is pulling you back? Like you were sitting at a table in front of a man with a long, flowing black beard and a pen and a sheet of parchment. He's trying to slide it over to you to make a deal. Whether you were going to go up or down, up or down, up or down. He was saying something about the last deal you'll ever make. And then you're pulled back to like just a regular dream. You're no longer waiting to be organized for up or down. What would you like to do? You've got nothing. Why am I saying what would you like to do? You're unconscious. Sorry about that. That was my mistake.
I'd like to no longer be smelling dead orc.
I don't have a mechanical fix for that yet. Sorry for my mistake a few moments ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, friend. The turn will then go over to the orcs, who are being, like, on a scale from 1 to stabbed, they're being stabbed. They're not okay with it. This last orc is going to book it and catch 5 knives in the back, only to be promptly brought down. We're looking at, like, over halfway to Caesar right now. Another orc is trying to break for it. Can I see an opportunity attack from Rook?
That would be a 70.
That will hit.
Okay. That will be 6 damage.
6 damage. We'll see that one
Damage.
skid, leaving marks on the ground as it moves away. The last remaining melee orc is scared, looking over at its buddy, who is now in pieces. It will try and flee. Johns, can I see an attack roll from you?
I got a 15 to hit.
15 to hit. We'll see you hit. What are you hitting with?
Just a fist, so 2 damage.
You go for a punch, box him in the ear. There's a stun. He does not leave your attack radius. He is kind of like dazed and confused for a little bit, quite a lot like a movie from the 1990s about the 1970s, which ironically is further away from now than they were from one another in time frame. At which point the turn will go over to Rook. Rook, you've got 1 remaining target.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to him.
Okay.
Do I get advantage or anything because he's stunned, or if I could like position myself flanking wise?
I'm going to say for the purpose of this encounter, you'll get advantage. Usually stun would just take away their next turn. That would be the stun status effect. But for the rule of cool, because it is just not having a good day, you will indeed get the attack. Let's see it.
That would be
advantage,
an 18.
I mean.
I had a 7 and a 13 and my +5, so 18 to hit.
Alrighty. Let's see some damage.
If 5 doesn't kill it, I'm going to do the backhand again, but this time in reverse. I'm going to bring the knuckle side, like those knuckles holding the sword around.
How do you want to do this one?
Yeah, I would like to under the ribs through the back. Fastest way to a man's heart. Or an orc in this case.
Alrighty. So you... What is it? Which Indiana Jones is it? Where the guy pulls the other guy's heart out? With the chanting and the screaming and the fire and the crazy... Yeah, with the... Kalima! Yeah, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
the one
boom,
with Spielberg's wife in it.
Yeah. You do that to him. He looks at his own heart and promptly dies.
Is it still beating?
Yeah. You've plucked this heart like fruit from a tree. And not even like really like stuck on their fruit, like ripe fruit. Like it was just ready to go.
Alright, well, I'm probably going to stick it back in him and clean my sword off at this point.
At that will see the rest of the orcs taken care of. There are a couple of orcs nearby in buildings further off. You hear a few of them, "Get out of here!" They make their way off. A couple of them let the wargs loose. They are retreating at speed. If you had to guess, they're moving probably twice the speed that you guys could be moving, almost as though this would signal the end of today's adventure. At which point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to go back to normal view in the stream. Hey! And we are good to go. That will see... Yeah, that will see everybody ready to basically loot the place for everything it's got. You'll note that the 5 halflings that you'd freed from the initial building motion over towards about 5 more in another building. They tell you that there were another 10 that made their way with them. They're all dead, having been eaten. They were being kept as livestock. There was one area that they're rumoring that they'd actually been scrapped for limbs while still alive. There was one of the orcs that had escaped was a rather skillful healer and had, after amputating limbs, healed them back to normal and then used the limbs for food. Yeah, it was very strange. At which point, a few of the halflings, they shudder and begin to walk off aimlessly towards the town of Broken Claw to the north. It's not a long walk. One of them points over to the building with all the stuff in it and says, "If you want it, it's over there. I think I've had about enough of the orc stuff for now. What do you say, boys?" They're all bringing out smokes and drinks that you didn't know that they had. They're all kind of just escaping their worries for another couple of moments. One of them in the back of your head, Rook, will say thank you for killing the last one. Another one from the initial building you'll hear in the back of your head, Amos, says thank you as well. Another one gives a quick smack and a couple of smelling salts to Nephi, at which point Nephi will be up at 1 hit point. They motion over towards that building, though, that has the good stuff. You'll see that it seems to be full of common magical items anticipated for adventures in this case. I will get that list of common magical items in just a few moments.
And just so that while the halflings are kind of milling away, Rook is going to go over to Amos and go, "Should we give them back their toys, or should we sell them in another town?"
Odds are they'll find more toys where they're from anyways.
Toys give delight. Why wouldn't we bring them back to them?
Because these toys are for killing.
Oh, I see. You mean the yes. Those don't bring delight.
From what I've seen, I'm pretty sure we've scared these halflings into treating that little old lady and that boy Frank well enough. I say we call it even.
Fair's fair. I just hope they don't get eaten on the short walk back.
Well, we'll be going with them. What, you think we're camping out here in the boonies?
I think I'd like to go through the stuff first and that they'll have a head start, but they are halflings, so.
So within the items that you'll find, you'll see an arm blade, a dread helm, a hat of vermin, a hat of wizardry, as well as 8 beads of nourishment. For the sake of legality, I cannot read off the specific text of these items verbatim in this current stream. What I can do is say them and the sources that they are from. I will be pasting into our game room chat the items' names. They can be found in Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, as well as Xanathar's Guide accordingly. Those are the 2 books that cover the common magic items most in depth. Are there any questions from anybody at this point?
The arm blade, is it a particular type of arm blade, or is it just the attachment and we can modify it?
It is the attachment made to be modified. You get the feeling that this is designed for someone who may have to undergo a rapid battlefield amputation. You have not seen this happen yet. Keyword yet. At that point, you'll also find a large sack of gold. There's about 250 gold in here. You think this might have been the gold that the initial halfling woman had escaped with. You've not found her.
Gotcha. I'm gonna suggest we hand the gold to Amos.
I'll make sure it gets back to the orphanage.
Amos, are you going to make sure it gets back to the orphanage?
Yes.
Really? All right. I'm surprised. Wow, this is big. Yeah, you'll notice that these orcs seem to have set up camp to be modular, moving, and speedy. The way that they had promptly and quickly fucked off was rather impressive. This seems like they do it regularly. You're not sure about the specifics of this area referred to as Clubhead, but it seems to be pretty wild and ready to go at a moment's notice. Seems a bit dangerous. Is there anything else y'all would like to do?
We have to get back to that orphanage.
Yeah, let's get back to the orphanage.
Alrighty. You'll successfully make your way back. You'll see Agnes is waiting outside. She's welcoming all of her elven children in, who are being very polite to her, looking very stressed towards Amos. They are scampering their way in. The woman...
Just remember, Grandpa Amos will be here at least once a month.
Yeah, they're looking towards you, rather scared. You'll note one of them is giving Frankie 5 silver. Another one's giving Frankie a pat on the back. Like, this kid is being treated like a king right now, and has a rather sizable amount of riches. He looks confused to it all and thinks this might be a game. He grabs onto one of them and tries to unwrap it, noticing that it's actually just real silver. It's not a candy. He looks confused for just a few moments. I looks over to the toy boat, looks up as though he has an idea, and says, "Come on, boys! We're gonna go find a boat!" And they look really scared of this idea and more scared of Amos, and so they follow.
Before he goes off, I hand over the strange doll to him.
You hand over the strange doll. The doll jumps out of your hand and walks up to Frankie. Frankie looks at the strange doll, picks it up, hugs it. "My best friend! I love this!" The doll looks back over to you, Johns, and in 3 languages that you don't understand, all at the same time, in a very deep baritone voice, whispers something that you can only describe as complete pain. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Well, I rolled a 2. Let's see if I have proficiency, and I think I do. I got a 7.
A 7. We'll see that you take 4 points of psychic damage. You stare into this doll's eyes, and when you stare into it, all you can feel is the sins of 100 children before you. It looks to you as though it is prowling for a good vessel, and you've given it one. You feel in the back of your head a small inscription. It tells you that on the darkest hour of your darkest day, it will be there, and it will see to your untimely demise.
Am I afraid of it, or I'm wondering if I would just attack it?
That's up to you.
Oh yeah, I sacred flame that.
You attempt to sacred flame it, it counterspells you.
Oh God.
Does anyone else notice any of these shenanigans?
This is kind of like a backroom sort of deal. You'll hear like, "Oh, hey, yeah, have a doll, Frankie," and then you hear, and then, "Oh God, no!" and then, bah! And then the thing is just like in Frankie's arms, just like containing the sacred flame, pulling it into its hand and holding on to Frankie.
I walk back away from Frankie with my head hung low, shaking it, and I'll look.
Amos is going to grab you by the collar. What on earth did you just give that boy?
I don't know. I just found it in a mayonnaise cave. I feel horrible.
"Oh, is that creepy doll again?" You'll see that the old lady walks over towards the doll. The doll scampers back, very afraid, like a cornered cat, clinging to Frankie. She grabs the doll by the throat, separates it head from shoulders, throws it in 2 directions, and with cracks of lightning bolt, in 2 directions at the same time, you'll see that they evaporate into a yellow fire. Oh, I hate those little things. They always come after orphans in the night.
Johns, next time you have an eldritch horror in your back pocket, don't go giving it to children.
He's crying and sniffled.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not to worry. It's happened a dozen times. Oh, if I had a daughter for every killing rampage that's happened against one of those, I'd be a rich woman.
Well, anyways, miss, here's your funds back.
Thank you.
And as much as I would like to ask you on a date tonight, what with the children back, I think I know where your attention lies.
Now I need a nap.
Good game.
John puts you on the shoulder, puts his hands on your shoulder, gives you guidance. You can do it.
Desperation doesn't look good on a man. Better have this.
At that, I would say this would be a awesome spot to wind up today's game. For folks watching at home, please leave a comment with what you liked, comment with what you disliked. Feel free to ask questions. this will be us signing off. Have fun.